Hallo miteinander, I'm Gashady6 and this is Grief Syndrome. This is a licensed game to the popular anime Puella Magi Madoka Magicka, a show that is said to have swept the dust off the magical girl genre. Unlike the series, however, this game is not very story-driven. It is an action platformer recreating and expanding upon the major combat scenes of the show. We will be playing the game on the 5th lap difficulty, still a very moderate one, but pretty good for the purposes of this Let's Play. Here we have the stage select screen with only one stage to select right now, and we will be tackling it with my favorite character of the show, Mami Tomoe. Our objective in this game is to protect humanity from evil witches, and for that purpose, Kyubey has given us magical powers. Kyubey happens to be the cute little animal that you just saw during the loading screen. In order to fight a witch though, we first have to enter her barrier, a distorted and abstract world, filled to the brim with her minions, and make our way to the core of it, where we can finally face that witch and destroy her for good. But that time is yet to come. Right now we must deal with these dapper mustache-wearing gentlemen called Anthony. Yes, all of them are called Anthony, and they would like to cut us up with big scissors. But Mami here, she won't have any of that. Anyone who brings a cutting instrument close to her hair drills is gonna have a bullet in the forehead. Or maybe make that 10 bullets. Just in case you missed it, Mami really likes guns. She's all about her percussion lock rifled muskets. In the beginning of the game you saw that there were 5 girls to choose from. Each of them has her own weaponry, different passive stats, and most important, a unique playstyle. In order to make the most out of a character, you're gonna have to get accustomed to that playstyle. For Mami, she is on paper pretty balanced, but she's actually meant to be a boss killer. And the reason is what you just saw. That was her tiro finale, her ultimate attack. It will completely wreck your enemies, and it's the main reason you would choose to play as Mami. But for now, let's stick to more basic things than that. And this game really does seem basic at first. You simply fight off waves of enemies in the most efficient manner you can pull off. But you must have already been noticing all these numbers popping up. And yes, this game does have RPG elements. Now if you think that may make things more complicated, don't worry, as the RPG elements are very light and not really disruptive to the action. You level up very quickly and there's barely any grinding required. The only thing that leveling up will do for you is it increases your maximum health as well as the punishment you can dish out. Speaking of punishment, that. Yeah, I really love the tiro finale, it's simply amazing. Now before we move on, let's wait a little bit to regenerate our unstable health, then we'll enter the second section of the level. Every level in this game, except for one, consists of 3 sections and a boss fight at the end. The second section of the first level introduces a new enemy, these very handsome butterflies with the name of Adelbert. They have pretty strong attacks, they can use sonic waves, and will also tackle into you if you leave them alone for too long. Whenever they get near you, just prioritize your attacks on them, as any damage they receive will just keep interrupting them. During this encounter, we'll put our two-sided shot to very good use. Now that's an attack that I really like using. You perform it by pressing the strong attack button while moving either left or right. And not only is it decently powerful, but it also knocks around enemies that may surround you. And it also lets you slide around to give you more mobility and reach safer spots quickly. It's pretty darn cool. Of course, it's not perfect for all situations. If you need more range and damage output, Mami can summon a wall of muskets by pressing and holding down the strong attack button for a little and releasing it. Of course, that still doesn't compare to what you just saw, the tiro finale. Every character's super, however, as good as it may be, has a nasty drawback to it. Whenever you use a super, a part of your health bar will turn blue. That means that it's unstable, and if you get hit before it regenerates, you will lose that health on top of the damage you would already receive. So all in all, you could say that it's a system of risk versus reward. Now Mami has a big problem. Her tiro finale makes a huge portion of the health bar blue, and it even increases more if you keep holding down the super attack button. Now, in a worst case scenario, she'll come down from the attack, something will lightly poke her in the back, and she will pop like a balloon. Because of this, a lot of people will tell you that Mami is the most difficult character to play as in this game, made for the advanced, and there's definitely something to that. In order to use her tiro finale effectively, you need to know the game well and know the spots where it's safe to use it. But even if that is the case, I really think Mami is great. If anything, she has an incredible style, and that is why she is my favorite character of the series. Now, my disposition there may be a very rare one. Of the 5 protagonists, Mami has probably the least significance and the least screen time. But you know what? I don't care. She's just so cool, so polite and courageous. Though in the end, I must admit that there are some flaws to her. She sometimes acts a little bit headlessly, and at one point that causes her to lose face in front of the ones she holds dear. And you know how the Japanese are in that regard. Losing face is a big deal over there. Going back to the level at hand, in the 3rd section another new enemy will appear, a smaller version of Adelbert. Now if you don't kill these immediately, they will turn into more durable spikes. The spikes don't really deal a whole lot of damage to you, but you can be trapped by them against other enemies. On some of the encounters, small Adelberts will keep spawning and chasing you, and it can really get on your nerves. But untransformed, they will die even to quick attacks. Now, I haven't talked about those yet, have I? Quick attacks also have their own button assigned to them, and with some characters, they can link very effectively into combos. For Mami in particular, not so much, she's not too reliant on combos. On its own, the quick attack is not so good, but she can still use it to finish off already injured enemies. The upcoming group is the last before the boss fight, and it's special in that it has 2 of these slightly larger Anthonys. A lot of enemies in this game come in varying sizes, and you've always got to watch out for the big ones, as they hit you harder and are also more durable. But as you can see, not durable enough. Now you must be really eager to know what such a witch looks like. Does she have a big pointy hat? Does she have warts all over her face? Will she melt if we drench her in water? No, maybe, and no. This is our witch. Meet Gertrude, the Rose Garden Witch. At first I thought her face was a very moldy pizza with undercooked meatballs on top, but nope, she's all about plants, and those are roses on shrubbery. Gertrude has many attacks, but almost all of them have very obvious tells. Whenever she leans back, she will slam her head towards you. At other times, she'll wiggle her head, meaning that she'll summon very big hedge clippers. The attack that gets me the most, though, has to do with her root-like legs. Those are also hazardous while she's moving around, but fortunately they don't do too much damage. As you can see, she will also try to jump on you sometimes, but usually she will summon small Adelberts before she does that. She didn't feel like showing those in this run, but when she does, they will immediately turn into spikes, and you will have to force your way out before Gertrude comes down and lands on you. But that's relatively easy, so even if it sounds dangerous, it's not really. Now Gertrude still has about half her health, so we are going to have to hold out a little bit longer than we did so far. Or do we? Well, there's a good reason why this attack means final shot if you translate it, because it really packs a punch. And with that, Gertrude is no more, the innocents are safe again, her barrier dissolves, and we can claim our prize even, a grease seed to restore our magical power. Well, this was our first hunt, a very successful one. Truly, Cubase should seek out more girls and make them magical, as it is glorious. I'm Gash86, this was Grief Syndrome, and next time, a very sweet stage. We'll be going through it as one of the other girls. Bis bald!